In the distant village of Alicia, there lived a woman named Meera. She was known for her exquisite baking, and her pastries were considered the best in the land. People traveled from far and wide to enjoy her treats, and she was affectionately called Meera the Baker. Every day, Meera set up her stall in the village square, filling the air with the delightful aroma of freshly baked goods. She was warm-hearted, and the villagers cherished her. Meera had a young daughter named Lila, whom she adored. Meera's life, however, had not always been easy. When she was pregnant with Lila, tragedy struck. Meera's husband passed away, leaving her to care for their daughter alone. Despite the challenges, Meera persevered, working tirelessly to provide for Lila. Her determination inspired admiration from the villagers. They saw her strength, and though life was hard, Meera never complained. She smiled through it all, nurturing Lila and treating her like a cherished friend. One fateful day, a young man named Joran, known for his vigor and charm, visited Meera's stall. He delighted in her pastries, savoring each bite. But later that day, he suddenly fell ill. His family rushed to help, but his condition worsened, and he began to vomit blood. Gasps rippled through the village. This was a sure sign of poisoning. Tragically, Joran did not survive, and shock swept through Alicia. Whispers spread like wildfire, pointing fingers at Meera. How could someone so beloved have done such a thing? Without hesitation, the villagers formed a mob. They gathered at Meera's stall, yelling accusations of murder. They didn't allow her a moment to explain. Their anger consumed them. In a fit of rage, they hurled stones at her until she lay lifeless on the ground. Lila, just 10 years old, witnessed the horrific scene. She cried for her mother, but her pleas went unheard. Meera, the kind baker, was gone, leaving Lila utterly alone. After Meera's death, Lila was taken in by her uncle, Tarek, who lived in a neighboring village. Tarek, a gentle soul, welcomed Lila with open arms, comforting her during her time of grief. Though Tarek had his own family, they embraced Lila as one of their own. Slowly, she began to heal, playing with her cousins and helping Tarek's wife in their cozy home. Although she missed her mother terribly, the warmth of Tarek's family brought her solace. Years passed, and Lila grew into a beautiful young woman of 18. Tarek, now aging, felt it was time to share the truth about her mother's tragic end. One afternoon, Tarek invited Lila to sit with him. With a heavy heart, he recounted how Joran had died after eating Meera's pastries and how the villagers, blinded by rage, had condemned her unjustly. Lila's heart shattered as the truth unfolded. Tears streamed down her face as she realized the injustice of it all. Her mother, who had brought joy to so many, had lost her life over a terrible misunderstanding. Tarek gently reassured her that Meera was innocent. The villagers had acted without thought. Though Lila was heartbroken, knowing the truth provided her some peace. However, soon after, Tarek passed away, leaving Lila feeling abandoned once more. After Tarek's funeral, his family told Lila they could no longer care for her. "You're grown now," they said. "It's time for you to find your own way." Alone and desolate, Lila recalled her mother's village, Alicia. Perhaps the villagers had forgiven her mother. Determined to start anew, Lila returned to Alicia, hoping to follow in her mother's footsteps as a baker. She believed if she could recreate Meera's pastries, perhaps the villagers would accept her. With renewed hope, Lila set up her stall, waking early to bake. She longed for the villagers to come and savor her creations, but as the day passed, not a single soul approached. Days turned into weeks, and the villagers continued to avoid her stall, their memories tainted by the tragedy. Lila's heart grew heavy with despair, but she refused to give up. She baked tirelessly, hoping someone would eventually see her for who she was. Lila, not just the daughter of Meera. One evening, as Lila walked home, tears in her eyes, an old woman appeared on the path. Hunched and mysterious, her piercing gaze sent a chill down Lila's spine. This was no ordinary woman. She was a witch. "Why do you weep, child?" the witch asked softly. Lila hesitated, but then shared her plight. No one buys my pastries. They still think I'm like my mother. The witch nodded knowingly. Ah, yes, Meera. The villagers fear her memory. But it's not just fear. There's something missing from your baking. What do you mean? Lila asked, puzzled. I bake with love, just like my mother. It's not about the taste, the witch replied, a sly smile creeping across her face. You need to add something special. Lila felt a chill. What is it? Your hair, the witch whispered. Use your hair to infuse the pastries. And mix this. She produced a small vial of dark substance into the dough. Disgusted, Lila stepped back. That's repulsive. I can't do that. The witch's laughter was cold. Your mother thought the same, and look where it led her. Fear not at Lila. The witch leaned closer, her voice chilling. Your mother didn't poison anyone. We, the witches, caused that young man's death. It was a lesson for her disobedience. Lila's heart raced as she processed the witch's words. You killed him. The witch smirked. Yes. And now you must choose. Will you resist like your mother, or will you do what's necessary to survive? Lila stood frozen, torn between her morals and the desperation of her situation. The witch's shadow loomed larger as she walked away, her voice echoing. Your life depends on your choice. That night, Lila wrestled with her thoughts. She didn't want to follow the witch's dark path, but the thought of failure haunted her. Finally, as dawn broke, Lila resolved to take a chance. Determined, she returned to her stall. This time, she infused her pastries with her hair and added the dark substance, her hands trembling with uncertainty. She hoped against hope that this would change her fate. To her astonishment, the moment she set up her stall, villagers began to approach. They tasted her pastries, delight lighting up their faces. These are incredible, one exclaimed. I haven't had anything like this in years. Word quickly spread, and soon Lila's stall was bustling with customers. For the first time, she felt the thrill of success, but a nagging unease lingered in her heart. As weeks turned into months, Lila's bakery flourished. She became the most renowned baker in Alicia, her fame spreading far and wide. Yet, despite her prosperity, Lila couldn't shake the weight of her secret. The villagers' admiration brought her joy, but their whispers turned to envy. How does she do it? The women wondered. What magic does she possess? Despite their suspicions, Lila focused on her business, earning wealth and respect. She built a beautiful home, a symbol of her hard-earned success. However, one fateful night, the witch returned, her presence chilling Lila to the bone. It's time to fulfill your end of the bargain, she said, her voice dripped with menace. What do you want? Lila stammered. The cost of your success, the witch replied, her eyes glinting. You must give up the chance to bear children. Lila's heart sank. No, I can't do that. I want a family. The witch's smile vanished. You think you can refuse? If you don't comply, you'll lose everything you've gained. Torn between her dreams of a family and her hard-won success, Lila faced a terrible choice. I can't, she whispered. I won't sacrifice my future. The baker's legacy. The witch's gaze turned icy. You must choose wisely, Lila. Your fate is in your hands. With that, she vanished, leaving Lila to contemplate her impossible decision. In the depths of her heart, Lila knew she had to break the cycle of fear and darkness. She would find a way to reclaim her life and honor her mother's memory without falling into the witch's trap. But first, she had to confront the village and seek their forgiveness. The real battle was just beginning.